back to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we're going to be talking about the K9 episode, The Bounty Hunter, written by Ian McEdam, and is directed by James Bogle. Because this story boggles my mind. Not to say that it's like bad or anything, it's probably the best episode that we're going to be talking about so far. It's got a lot more going for it than any other episode that we've tackled so far in the K9 series, but just some not creative choices, but some odd moments where I just I don't know. I've had a few times where I kind of bursted out laughing. Not anything particularly big, no big character beats or character moments, but just small little nuggets of moments spread throughout the episode that makes me just really giggle. Of course, I don't really have much of a precedent for what the mainstream audience think about this episode, because by this point, everybody has just stopped watching the show at this point. So I don't know if this story is a popular one or not by the K9 fan base this version of K9, if there is any fans. If you like this show, if you are a fan of the show, please, I beg of you, comment below, put in the comments what you like about the show. I really want to meet somebody who likes the show. I'm not like to take the piss or anything. I know this show gets a lot of flack and stuff, and I also am not keen on it. However, I just like hearing different opinions, and I'd be absolutely appreciative if I can find somebody who would actually give a fun, different viewpoint of this series. That being said, this story, pretty funny. The story basically starts out with Starkey and K9. They've gone to just, view out the world, because the professor's trying to get something out of K9's memory. He's been programming K9's memory, and this image keeps popping up of this guy basically telling K9, please don't bloody shoot me. I can't remember his name. I believe his name is Zeliot or something like that. When I watched this story, my first thoughts was, is that the guy that plays the villain from Robots of Death? It's not, but it felt like they were made to look like the same guy. Am I the only one who thought this? I would ask people to tell me what they thought. However, I know nobody's seen this, so, and so the professor's trying to fix K9's brain, because from the first episode, Regeneration, K9 has lost his memory, all events from his regeneration, from when he got his new design. So he doesn't actually know how he got into the normal timeline, into the 2050, which I believe this show is set, the 50th century, they say. So, contracted from the history said, he's from the 50th century. I've already completely... The 31st century London. I was just calling it the 31st century London. So, to try and bring back K9's memories, Starkey actually offers to take K9 for walkies. Despite the fact, in the previous episode, it has been established that the department, this evil dictatorship that's currently running Britain, is after the cybernetic dog. They let him walk around normally, despite him being a known, I wouldn't say he's a criminal from their point, but they're after him, and they do a very poor job of hiding. They go out to, I believe it's the London Eye, which is this big, it's very similar anyway, this big wheel. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it starts spinning like really, really, really fast, and everybody's like, "Oh no, it's dangerous." Just the imagery of the thing spinning really fast, and you can see like clips of the people panicking inside, and it's all just like over the top. It made me laugh my head off, and the department quickly come in, and they basically explain that they can't stop it because somebody has tied up a bomb to the mechanism, and if it slows down, then the bomb will explode. And Starkey believes that this is actually just some publicity, that it's the department, basically they've set this all up so that when there's enough cameras, they'll swoop in, save the day, and they will be appreciated as heroes in the public eye. However, K9 states that it is very unlikely that that it's most likely that there are actual criminals behind it, but Starkey believes that it's the department. This seemed like a really interesting way to take this episode. You know, you have the idea of, like, you have our characters who just hate the department and will quickly try and find a way to put the blame to them. In fact, for a few minutes, the conversation between them is kind of interesting as Starkey keeps trying to, like, find evidence that it is the department, whilst K9 is kind of like being reasonable. It's like, actually, that doesn't make much sense. It makes more sense if it was just someone else, the logical dog, and that would be really cool. You know, it shows like our the hatred of our characters is kind of getting to them, and of course the department are bad guys, but that doesn't mean they're behind every single issue, every single problem. However, when they find the bomb and it turns out that it's actually not like massive, but just a little explosive, it wouldn't hurt anyone in the local area, just maybe badly bruise them. It won't kill them. It'll just put a lot of pain. Do they realise it's like, yes, it's the department, and later on then it's confirmed that it was the department using it as some sort of publicity stunt. Whereas at the same time, they do try and hide, like they hide behind walls, and because Starkey is now a free person after the events of the previous episode, which I can't remember the name of. That's not good. But K9 is still and he's like a robot dog. You can't hide that. And so they try to hide behind walls, but you've got to laugh at the pure terribleness of trying to hide. They're literally, their case of hiding is like hiding behind a wall where there's people just like everywhere, with a majority of the shots showing that they are clearly eye view from our main antagonists and those really silly RoboCop looking guys. Which, by the way, there's one scene where you see one of them walking. There's like four of them walking in a line, and the three of them are doing like normal walk, and then there's one that's just going, and I just had to laugh. Another bit I had to laugh, which is probably just so mental. When it comes to directing, one of the toughest things you've got to do is organise and get out good performances from your I won't say background characters, but your characters that appear for like one scene stuff. Too underperformed, the threat doesn't feel that genuine. Over the top, and you get a really ridiculous scene like this, where one of the mother of two kids that are on the wheel is basically concerned, and the cops are like, "Halt! No, it's not safe." And the way she screams, "These are my children!" and the camera pans up onto her face slightly as she says "children." It's so corny and so cheesy, but I had to just burst out laughing. That being said, that makes this story automatically the most fun I've had with K9 so far, with all this silly ridiculousness. But there's also a kind of not a thing, but it's an interesting plot because now we're reeling it back to the first episodes with the mystery of what happened to K9, as back in Professor Griffiths's time space thing, it opens up and reveals a new character, Ahab, the bounty hunter of the particular title, and he's after K9. He wants K9. He plans to at least damage K9 or at best kill K9. And I like how loyal Professor Griffiths is. How despite K9, him and K9 have only known each other for a while, and with the information it can't really contradict because K9 can't remember anything prior to the events of the first episode, so he could be telling the truth. And the professor is just so loyal to K9. I really enjoyed that. He first tries to lie about it and is like, no, I don't know any K9. No, it'd be interesting if I knew what you plan to do with K9. And the bounty hunter's like, I planned to kill him, put him on trial for murder. And the professor's just like, well, in that case, no K9 here. Sorry, you've landed at the wrong time. But Ahab has this machine that basically detects that the professor's lying. And then the professor's like, okay, let me rephrase that. I am not going to tell you where K9 is. There is no way. And Ahab is basically grabs him and then threatens to kill him if he doesn't say. But luckily for the professor, on the news, it's basically reported that this boy and a robot dog basically saved the day when the department couldn't arrest them in public because they became public heroes at that point, saving everybody from the bomb. Then announced like they were actually the criminals. They were the ones who actually planted it, putting the blame on Starkey and K9. So is Starkey on the run again? Because he was like all over the screen. So clearly he must be a criminal now. Yeah? And whilst that, they will then track down and find out that his data has been corrupted so that he wasn't a criminal before, and then they're going to get really suspicious and capture Professor Griffiths. I hope that's the last episode. That sounds like a really fun little adventure. Now, Ahab is played by Brand McMurray, and he clearly knows what kind of performance to play here. He knows that this is for fun, silly, and not particularly great entertainment. So he plays his character in such a cliched bounty hunter. He has like this eye patch thing. He does the snarling with his teeth like that. Everything he says is through gritty teeth, and everywhere he walks he's stomping around, chanting for K9. It's a very cheesy performance. However, for a franchise like this, not to say that it's particularly good, but it fits this world, this environment. Whether that's due to him realising what kind of performance he needs to give in this kind of show, or whether he's just not a strong actor, is hard to tell, because every acting throughout the board is pretty weak in the series so far from all performances. So I'm going to put it down to bad directing and bad producing, and maybe the actors kind of are on a cheap, or are being paid on a cheap and rushed productions, rather than any of the actors in this show being played bad. So that being said, K9 Starkey, Georgia and Darius, they basically go into hiding in the sewers to try and hide from not only the department, which are now kind of chasing K9, but also this bounty hunter that is going after them. The bounty hunter teams up with the department, or at least the security department of the department, to try and track down K9, as there's a bit of a confrontation between the two heads up. You've got this, the head of security which deals with like the police and stuff, and he wants K9. He plans to take K9 and use him as a threat, or take his technology, whilst the leader of the department of like alien and extraterrestrial for the department, Georgia's mother, she's like, no, she keeps secrets from the other guy, and she tries to like get his suspicions away, as well as try and help hide K9, despite the fact K9's not doing a very good job of hiding, because, plain sight and all, even though in the sewers that does kind of make sense that he is hiding properly there. And there is this interesting dynamic there, and this is the episode where we learn that they are not the actual rulers. We have another character, a leader, but above them, who hides in the shadows and the one who gives them all orders. Now, this scene is another one where it's so cheesy and corny. Again, I don't want to hate on the production team. There's probably a lot of reasons why this show came out the way it did, with budgets and short time periods, stuff like that. Making TV is really hard. But there's a scene in which, they're talking to this leader character who basically gives them sort of instructions to go out and find K9 or team up with the bounty hunter. I can't remember what he wants. And they have this this cool demeanor voice to them. And if it was just like them talking on the screen, or just on an audio machine, like a phone or something, that would actually give this character a really threatening presence. However, what actually happens is that he appears in the other side of the room, where you have this transparent wall, and you can kind of just see the shadow of him in the other side of the room. And although that does sound cool now that I'm saying it out loud, in execution it comes off really silly and corny. James Bogle, this is the only thing I've seen him direct, so again, I don't want to judge his work purely on K9. It's just really unfortunate, let's be honest. And then that being said, then we have K9, who's basically trying to sleep, and he's regaining some memories after Professor Griffiths brings back his memories. And K9 sees that he did kill this guy. Well, he says, "You are not going to kill me. You are. You will not get away with this." And then he burns the flames, and then you see this really crippled corpse, which looks really graphic for a children's program like this, because this is a children's program targeted towards the Power Rangers, 10, 11-year-olds, children. But yeah, that was kind of shocking. And K9 is basically I did kill him, so I must just turn myself in. And K9 then floats around and goes around the tunnel and basically leaves his tracker on. This leaves the department and the bounty hunter to take K9 away. And then, funnily, the department and the bounty hunter team up, because the department were told by the bounty hunter that when he's done, they will gain K9's technology and they will use it. And we see K9 basically giving himself into the department, and the kids are like, "No, you can't just give up." But it's I must. My programming, it shows that I am guilty and therefore I must stand trial. And the bounty hunter puts this whip on K9's neck and drags him to takes him away. Then off screen, we have the two leaders of the department, Georgina's mother and the other head of security, They're basically like discussing what happened and how like K9 was found and he's going to be taken away. And all of a sudden it's like, also when we were there, the bounty hunter betrayed us. He started attacking us and he refused to give us the K9 technology. He's now on the run again. Huh? You left that as for dialogue? You didn't show that? You didn't think that was important? This was a hilarious turnaround. And when you hear that, it's like it doesn't really process what just happened. So when the next time you see the bounty hunter, it still kind of feels like he's working for the department. Because you don't actually see him betray K9, you hear about it. And it gives this really strange feeling. And so he's pulling K9 into the machine with this whip, which is made out of some sort of quantum energy, which is sub-zero. It's absolutely like frozen. It's absolute zero. This then triggers a device in K9's memory to bring back some more memories, where his memories gets pictured on the screen for all of our characters to see, where it turns out that K9 didn't actually kill this ambassador, this character. It turned out it was this bounty hunter, and he wants to kill K9 because he bared witness. We also see what they call Limlick? Jinx. We see a Jinx in the background. Basically, that is where the story from Regeneration starts. So basically, we now know like how K9 got through the time portal. It's because he was on the chase by the Jinx after he caught the bounty hunter murdering someone. Why didn't K9 do anything? Clearly he was right in front of the guy, and the guy clearly showed some stress, some intent. Also, I forgot to mention as well, there's another bean joke, a fart gas bean joke in this episode, after the last episode, which also had a few bean jokes. I don't get it. Why are they so determined to have farting bean jokes? It's stupid. But anyway, so basically K9 is innocent. However, because of the whip, they can't get to him. And Georgina spills the coffee the Professor Griffin made for himself, really hot coffee, over the whip, which dissolves it. And so the bounty hunter gets thrown into the portal before it really is calibrated and is sent off somewhere. And our characters are just like, hooray, we've saved the day. But how do we know that the bounty hunter won't come back for K9? Because, he wanted to kill him to stop any witnesses. And now we know that he killed him. So what's him from stopping us? But the professor basically explains that the bounty hunter had teleported to trillions of years in the future in his time, but in the exact same place. However, due to the Earth spinning and orbiting around the sun, and the sun orbiting around the galaxy and stuff, he'll just land in the middle of space. And that's how our story ends. Literally, they explain that. You see a little clip of Ahab being drifting through space, and then the credits just roll just suddenly like that. And that is the bounty hunter. Overall, it's not very good. It relies on a lot of tropes that you've seen 100 times before and done better. It's really corny, it's really silly. There are some over-the-top moments, there are some really silly moments, and it's pretty meh overall. However, I will state that it is actually my favourite episode so far, as it's silly, but it is silly in such a fun way. It is enjoyable. It does bring me back memories of when I used to watch Power Rangers as a kid, and you don't worry about the subtext or the main narrative. You just want some really silly moments and really entertaining, like basically sugar rush for the eyes, which is essentially what this story is. So on that regard, I kind of recommend it. When I say it's so bad it's good, a little bit. I say a little bit. You can get enjoyment if you watch it from that lens set. But it's still still a pretty bad episode. I'm still waiting for a really good episode of K9 here. Maybe it could happen. You never know, it could happen. But that's The Bounty Hunter. Pretty fun, but that's about it. So join me next time where the Doctor must go to contemplate his current situation, his current moral dilemma, but he gets to interact with a previous incarnation. So join me next time for the big finish event, Out of Time, where we get reintroduced to the 4th Doctor. So I'll see you next time on the Doctor Who Marathon. Ta-da!